So I was working with a student one day and my sweet Soraya, my sweet introvert, comes in and has obviously decided that there is somebody in her space that shouldn't be there and she wants that space to herself and her mum to herself, I think. And she says to the student, bye, goodbye now. And I'm like, oh, darling, mummy still has to work with him and we'll be done soon. And so with that, she picks up his school bag, as try as she might, and is dragging it towards the door saying, bye now, bye now. At 3, we could really see that she was an introvert. But what was also very interesting was that she actually really knew herself already and what it meant for what she needed to recharge. So let's look today at parenting introverted children. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you so much for joining me as today we look at parenting introverted children. In the last video, we looked at parenting extroverted children. Well, today we're going to the other side. Well, thank you as well so much for watching these videos. I love just being able to bring different aspects of parenting and education and just a lot of looking at them and how can we just really help each other in this. And so thank you for your likes and your subscribes and for sharing them with your friends and also for your comments. Well, when you have an introverted child, you usually notice, just as much, I guess, as you notice that extroverted child. I mean, I am blessed in the fact that I have both, and I am an introvert. My husband is an extrovert. And we've managed to produce one of each. So it's been a good balance in our family. But, we really do need to understand what it means to be extroverted or introverted. We seem to have fallen into this pattern of, extroverted means outgoing, introverted means quiet. But if you look at my husband and I, we're really quite different. He's the extrovert, but he's actually more quiet. He loves his social settings, but they're quieter, whereas I definitely need to recharge by myself, absolutely 100%. Yet I can be very outgoing in a social setting and be quite the talker. And so everybody seems to flip us around. Well, we have, with our children, sort of in a way, sometimes the same things, but it's great to watch and just see and to help them understand it's how we recharge that really defines whether we're an introvert or an extrovert. So let's look at some of the traits of an introvert. Typically communicate best one-on-one. It's sometimes easier. We're not overwhelmed by the noise or all the things going on. I can focus. I can communicate. I can do really well with this. This also ties in with observing and listening. A lot of introverts are very good observers and listeners. And so this comes in strongly with communicating well one-on-one. Need time for themselves. We need time to ourselves in order to recharge. I know what I'm like when my battery is low. And that's when angry mummy comes out or bad language mummy comes out. Or I'm like, can you just stop talking to me? Often as parents, we don't really get that time to ourselves, do we? And when we are we need time to ourselves. Can struggle to understand your own emotions. This can be true of introverts, I'm feeling these things. I'm really not sure what's going on. I'm not sure that I can share them. I know this to be true for me, I'm aware, as I'm getting older, I'm more aware of what my emotions are, but definitely as a child, I was not fully aware of what my emotions were or how I could share them. So we've got to think about this with introverts is that when we're seeing this struggle, which leads into our next point, is don't push for them to answer things. Prefer not to be pushed to answer questions. We need time to process. It's that processing thing. I'm observing, I'm thinking, I'm feeling. A lot of those things are tied into it, and being put on the spot and answering questions can actually be quite an anxiety sort of driven thing. So many introverts are feeling that way. Can easily get overwhelmed in social settings, or noisy or overcrowded, it's all that external stimulus really that can be like, whoa, what is going on here? And from that, it's like, I'm not sure what to do. I need to withdraw with me to just sort of recharge here, where I could sort of, in a way, it feels safe and it's quiet and it feels neat. I know for me, the best way to recharge is really not by watching a movie or anything like that. For me, I actually really need silence as part of my alone time. And so when we are aware of these things, it's actually really helpful. Now, there is a difference between being shy and being an introvert. And again, one of those things that it's got along the way, it's been muddled up and, oh, well, they're shy, they're an introvert. No, not the case. Extroverts can also be shy. And just because you're an introvert, it doesn't mean that you're shy. Shy people generally have anxiety about what's going on around them with people, so are therefore withdrawing. But introverts aren't. They're just going to maybe observe where things are at and see where they can fit in a group setting and how much they want to input. But shy people are I don't want to be getting there. So we need to sort of stop lumping shy and introvert as being the same thing, because you can overcome being shy, but being an introvert is part of your personality. We also have this new term, ambivert. For a long time, ambiverts were just known as, they're the outgoing introvert. In many ways, I would probably lean more to an ambivert side of things in the fact that, I can be outgoing in a social setting, but whoa, it can really drain me. And I know what it's like when we used to be out on the road, and with our other job, and I'm around people all the time, I would hit that limit. And then I'd be like, whoa, I need to get time for myself. And when we don't have that, it's hard. So many ambiverts really do need more of that time to themselves than they do of just being around other people and feeling recharged that way. Yes, they can still be recharged by other people, but then that recharging suddenly can become a draining. So we used to know them as the outgoing introverts. They're now ambiverts. Yes, we're going to have to parent them too, because there are those children as well. So how can we parent an introvert? Provide opportunities for alone time. Downtime is important. Maybe it's quiet time after lunch, just an hour of being away from anybody else, just in the still, in the quiet, just allowing that moment to breathe and to recharge. Do not overwhelm with activities. Too many activities, too many social gatherings, you are going to overstimulate and overwhelm your child. And so you're just going to have to look at what is the right balance, or even being aware, okay, we've had so many of these things, we need to pull back for a little bit because I'm watching it in their behavior and it's coming out this way. I need to pull back and let them have that time to recharge. Be aware of when your child might need to stay home from an activity or social gathering. As parents, this can be hard, especially if it's something that we're looking forward to, but maybe your child is just at this point of if we go, nobody's going to have fun. I foresee the tantrums. Really as parents, we don't need a crystal ball for that. We can just see what's happening within our children. And so we do need to be aware that maybe saying no is the best option. Teach your introvert how to manage crowds and overstimulating activities. This is actually an important thing because there are going to be times when they are in crowds, when they're at overstimulating activities and they can't just escape. Or they can't just kick that student out because mom's working with them. It's really important as we grow and as our children grow and develop, especially, that they are aware of what they can be doing in those situations, maybe to find that peace and to find that calm and just that reassurance of, I can get through this. And then afterwards, I can have my recharging time. So we do actually need to teach them those coping mechanisms, those good strategies to help them not lose it, not feel out of control and a failure in these environments. Teach your introvert what it means to be an introvert. This is also really key. It's knowing who we are. This is how you think as an introvert. I have noticed this, and this, and it's leading me to believe like this. What do you think? I'm the type of person that knowing like my strengths, my personality, like all of this is very freeing to me. Oh, that's how I think. Okay, good. So as parents, we need to be teaching our children, you are an introvert. Now, as an introvert, I find it a lot easier to be parenting my introverted child and like, hey, this is who you are. Like, this is how mommy feels. I see this in you. That is being an introvert. And so we can communicate that. But what if you are an extrovert and you have an introverted child? It does happen. And the other way around too, being an introvert with an extroverted child. So really, I think that there are sort of three main things when you are an extrovert and your child is an introvert. You might have to cancel your plans. That sucks. It really does. And I get that. You might be really looking forward to it. But as we've said, taking your child into that situation could just make it a horrible experience. And I don't know about you, but I think I would rather avoid a horrible experience and just like feeling like that I have maybe let my child down in taking them into something that they're just not ready for. Teach your child about you and how you need to recharge. Just like we've had to teach an introvert, like this is how you recharge and it's important. They need to know that you as an extrovert need to recharge in these ways. And, just helping them to see you as that person and you as somebody that is valuable and needs that recharging time is really a good thing. So that leads to the third thing, making sure that you have that recharge time. That time for you. And if that means going out with your friends or, heading to this thing, then you do need to do it. If it means getting a babysitter so that your child stays at home and you just have that quiet while you go out and have that recharge, then do it. Okay? It is not, that we just have to give ourselves, just completely give ourselves up for the sake of our children. No, it's a learning thing. That's how families just become a beautiful thing. When I can teach my extrovert how I'm an introvert, how, I can teach my introvert how we are, how her father is an extrovert, all of these things are actually really good. Now to finish off, let's just have a quick look at some famous introverts because that's always fun. Like Albert Einstein and Rosa Parks, Sir Isaac Newton, or J.K. Rowling. President Obama, when a majority of presidents have been extroverts, it's really cool to see, quite a charismatic introvert. Dr. Seuss, Chopin the composer, Steven Spielberg. Our introverted children have some great role models out there, people that they can look at and go, oh, okay, so they're introvert. Wow, look at what they've been able to do. But I bet they had their time to recharge. I bet they did. Well, thank you so much for watching. And hey, if you need some help with some ideas on how you can be parenting your introverted child, please reach out and just let me know. I would love to help you. They said, I'm learning as I go as well. It feels like every day my children like to change things up on me. But this is what we do. We do this together. We work together on this and we build each other and support each other in it. And this is a great way to be part of just this parenting community. And you can also be part of the Learning Life community, through sharing your ideas and your stories and sending me comments, but also by being a champion. And you can do that through patreon.com, or you can also check that out on my website, learningthis.life.